Hey Campers Inn team, it's May and wanted to update you on a couple different happenings around the company. So the last time we talked, I was a little late in the message because we were kind of in the midst of seeing what was going on with some national policy tariffs, that sort of thing. And so here's kind of how April went, just a little bit of a recap. So we did see everything from web traffic to the physical in-store visits to sales to retail service. It did slow there at the beginning of April. Somewhere around that third weekend or so in April, we started seeing the business pick back up, actually back up to what we were seeing on the sales pace, opportunities pace from March. And then the last weekend in April was pretty decent as well. So it seems like we had a lull, and it seems like it's picking back up a little bit. We've been talking to a lot of our manufacturers, banks, different partners, and it seems like that's been mostly the case. There have been some pockets of parts of the country where it's been maybe better over here, maybe a little bit worse over here, but nationally that's what we saw. So nice to see the business pick back up. Nice to see the last few, at least the last 10 or so days of April we saw were just kind of like March. So good news on that front. So we're actually pretty excited as we roll into May. There's a lot of stuff happening. We've got the May mega sale going on. So online promotions, on lots. We have a bunch of on lot stuff going on in May. So many of your dealerships, you'll have some really cool stuff there. The service team with the service seminars and their service specials, part specials, they're tying into that as well. So May should be a good month for us. We should be back to the races here this month. A couple updates on our private label side. So some of you probably saw that was announced that Heartland and Cruiser, where our private label Embrace is made out of, those plants or those divisions are being folded into the Jayco division. So it was announced that Ken Walters, who's kind of like the super GM at Thor over all of Jayco and a couple other brands, is taking over Heartland and Cruiser. And so what does that mean for the Embrace? Well, we there was rumor that Embrace is going to go away. Well, that rumor is not true. They were going to be moving the plants, so there will be a break in production for a bit. So it may be for a little bit that we see Embrace pause coming to the dealerships, and then it will come back. So that is what's happening there. Also on the private label side, Forest River, parent division, Cherokee division, and coming out of one of the primetime plants, our private label stick and tin and entry-level laminate, Westbrook. So Westbrook will be coming to your stores soon. Some of you may see some here in May and others a little bit later. A familiar name that many of you may know. So Randy Goodwin, he was longtime GM with the company, a GM trainer, held several different roles with us. Anyway, he is going to be our rep. So he'll be our rep. He's going to be exclusive to the Westbrook line. So we're excited to be working with Randy again here in the coming months. And you'll be seeing him at your stores doing training. He knows our process. He knows our systems better than most. So we're really excited to have Randy kind of back on the team working on our private label with us. So that's really good. Okay, so a couple other things that we wanted to talk about related to the tariffs. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's still some of that uncertainty out there, but it's becoming clearer. So the picture is becoming a little bit clearer as we progress forward. So one of the questions I've been asked a bit is, what does it look like for price increases? Well, I would tell you at the beginning of April, we really didn't know. And several of the manufacturers are waiting until the supplies that they get that have tariffs on them now come in to increase the prices, and others are doing it a little bit ahead of time. So we're hearing on the RVs, 5 to 10%. That has been pretty consistent. Some manufacturers have actually come out that they think it's going to be 8% through the end of the year. We'll see, right? I mean, they're kind of the ones that are getting ahead of it are guessing a little bit. And why are they guessing? Which products have tariffs. Well, we've had customers on our Facebook pages and on some of the other social media say, well, these things are made in the U.S. And they are assembled in the U.S. and parts of the RVs are made in the U.S. But appliances and other aspects are come from overseas. And some of that supply chain originated in China, just depends on the parts and pieces. There's also increases in costs on aluminum and steel. And then there's the normal increases. So we were expecting a 2 to 3%-ish kind of increases anyway, just normal sorts of increases. So some of it is just related to normal price increases year to year. And some of the price increases that we're seeing is because some components or some supplies or raw materials are getting increased costs at the border. So that's what we're hearing so far for the unit side is the 5 to 10%. Parts team, though, this one's important. Need you to pay attention real quick. So parts team, because the RVs themselves are all treated on a one-by-one basis, right? Parts are not. Inside Motility, there's average costing, and then MSRPs are often set from the last time we set the MSRP. So there's a challenge here that if we have a part that we were getting for $10 and MSRP was, I'm just going to use numbers, $15, right? That's $5 a margin there. Well, now if that part starts coming in at $11 or $12 and we don't change the MSRP to the new MSRPs, then that margin could go to $4 or $3. So there's adjustments that we're going to have to make, and this is something that the parts and service director team are already talking about. They've already had some meetings on this. Just be prepared that we have to make sure that our pricing keeps up with the incoming goods that are coming in and the new costs of them. So for us to maintain our margins on that side, we not only have to adjust the costs as they come in, which happens in Motility through the average costing, but we have to maintain those margins as well on the MSRPs and making sure that the retail pricing is up. So that's super important for the parts team. Otherwise, you're going to see your margins go squish, squish, squish down over the next few months as we get some of those parts and pieces and some of those components in that are coming in that are facing some of the tariffs. So super important for us to stay on top of that. A few other things. So other cool stuff we've got coming up in May. Last month I mentioned that Fran, our artificial intelligence agent, was launching Service. So Service is now soft launched for a few of the stores. So Fran is actively handling that. I know some of you are going to be learning DP360 on the parts and service side because that's how Fran currently is going to be putting in the customer data when they're talking to them online. Why is it in Fran instead of in Motility? Well, initially we wanted it to be in Motility, but there's some connections on the back end with Motility that are very difficult. We'll just leave it at that. Super difficult on the technology side. Working to overcome that with our partners over at Lasso who are building this out for us and our partners at Motility. But we just haven't overcome that technological feat yet. And we may not. So we have to push it through the system that we can, which is DP360 for now. So more training coming on that. But I'm super excited that Fran is going to be handling our service customers as well. And then another piece that Fran's doing, back to the sales side, is that something called the offer engine. So right now, Fran we're validating about 500 RVs on the ground where Fran can make different offers than the current price online, right? So she'll look at the price online, she'll have the offer engine in the background. Think of that like, what's the offer engine? The offer engine is kind of like some math and some other data and whatnot based on a whole bunch of factors, basically saying we could take this price down a little bit. And we're working with Lasso, and by we I mean Ricky and Daniel, Megan, myself, on the offer engine to make sure that that's transparently coming through to you, the sales team, and DP360 if we've made a different offer, what those offers are, making sure that we're not giving crazy offers that don't make any sense. So that's pretty cool too. And what's the point of that? That's all for more leads and opportunities for the sales team and more qualified leads and more qualified appointments. So Fran's doing her job. She's working 24/7, doing a great job. Already on the sales side, we've seen those huge improvements because it's learning. And then we're hoping that that same thing happens on service. And we're hoping this offer engine in the background really helps out improve our conversions there as well. Okay, keeping on chugging down, some people-related topics, a couple of them. One is I want to thank everybody who has submitted on the Launchpad either a leadership development form, basically saying, hey, I'd like to explore opportunities in the company for new, different roles, maybe a role that you're not currently in, that sort of thing. And then people that have submitted for the mentorship forms. Hey, I'm looking for a mentor to kind of help me within the company on my career. We've had over a couple dozen submissions on that already. So that's cool. Thank you for doing that. Some of you have said I submitted, but I haven't heard from anybody yet. I just batched a whole bunch of them. So behind the scenes right now, eventually that will go to the HR team. But right now I'm batching them and assigning a director or a GM or someone right along the chain to reach out to you. So I batched those just a couple days ago. So if you don't hear anything in a week and you have submitted a form, shoot me a note. I'll get on it. Another people-related thing, just want to make sure that everybody knows that the HR team is a resource for you if you need it, right? So they are there for you to reach out to if you're having an issue, whether you're an employee or a manager and you need a challenge. Yes, of course, your chain of command is always there. Feel free. We have open door policies throughout the company. You can always use your chain of command to go talk to them about an issue. But HR is another resource for you. And we've actually had a couple success stories recently with Stacy, our HRBP, HR business partner, and Lori Lori getting involved in some different investigations or issues or whatnot. And it's nice to see those handled on the back end. Sometimes it's not as visible to you exactly what we're doing but we do take action on this stuff and they're a great resource for you. So I just wanted to throw that pitch in there that they are there for you to work through. Managers, you'll understand a prodaptive issue. If you need to work through a prodaptive issue and favorability and place your bet and those sorts of things, or if it's just a general employment issue. So utilize them, please. And last thing I have on my list is we talked a little bit about the CRM. So receptionists, we've got some training for you 2 times. So the first receptionist will be on May 13th at noon Eastern time, and these invites will be coming out soon. And then the second potential training is May 15th, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So please make one of those 2. And what we're doing is we're doing more training on the CRM, which is DP360, and just making sure that each one of you has the tools in the toolbox necessary so that you can log the ups and make sure that they're tracked in there. And what's the goal for the ups and the CRM and receptionists? So the goal is that every day as people are coming in, as a receptionist, you're making sure that every single customer is getting logged in the CRM. And then the salespeople, before you and they leave, are making sure that the rest of the details that they got on the locator sheet are in there. And then compiling that and making sure that the manager knows if we missed anybody, right? We had an orphan customer because we just were overrun, or if we had a customer that met with a salesperson, but there's nothing in the system from the locator sheet. So that's the goal there as receptionists, is we want your help. So we've got some training coming up for you on May 13th at noon, May 15th at 11 a.m., both of those Eastern times. And those invites will be going out shortly. So I'm excited to be in May. We're hitting our stride in season. Should have a lot of cool stuff coming up. And let's have a fantastic May, everybody. Thanks.